Do you still have questions about Jalen Hurts? Probably. And if you did before the Panthers game, you're going to have some after the Panthers game. The scene never changed. People that still want him to throw the ball for 300 plus yards, that's not going to change. Everybody that's comfortable with what he's doing or happy with what he's doing because he's winning, not going to change. This game didn't really change your mind. But what I will say is, as a football player, as somebody that watches film, as somebody that's been in the locker room, I'm comfortable with saying, Jalen Hurts, you got to play better. No problem with that. You can look at the film. And I would argue that Jalen Hurts, would probably say the same thing. Now, he's not going to tell you that in all of those cryptic, stoic quotes.
It ain't about solving anything. Everybody has a reason to want more. And, it's a fair desire of being in fullness of what we can be because we've done it before.
They don't want to talk to y'all. He's doing his job. He know he's got to talk to y'all. He ain't got a choice in that matter. A.J. Brown, same thing. I understand why A.J. Brown is frustrated because up until Saquon Barkley was acquired, A.J. Brown was the best player on the team. And in some situations, hasn't changed. He's still the best player on the team. Because if you got to throw the ball downfield, A.J. Brown is your best option. And, yeah, Jalen Hurts missed him a couple times yesterday. It happens. So I understand the frustration. It's warranted. The criticism of, the passing game's got to get better. I understand what he was saying. I can read between the lines. And I guarantee you they are going to have some good conversations in the film room. Because let's not forget, they've been friends for a long time, so they got a relationship outside of football, and sometimes that transcends what's going on in the locker room because they talk to each other and that relationship is there. So Jalen Hurts knows what A.J. Brown is feeling. On the flip side of that, A.J. Brown understands what's going on. He knows that Saquon is the engine right now. And you, as a diva wide receiver, we can call him what he is because he is that good. Sometimes you got to pump your brakes and take a step back. You still got to be the team player, and he is that. However, I totally understand his frustration from yesterday's game because Jalen didn't have a good game. He did not have a good game. He missed some passes. He double clutched on a couple plays, and it is what it is. There have been times in the past where A.J. Brown didn't get the ball, and he wasn't as upset. Because if you just don't have a lot of opportunities, it is what it is. And you look at the flow of the game. But where players get frustrated, and we'll go through this in a film session I'm working on, is when you miss opportunities. And I think in that regard, Jalen missed some opportunities. So if you still have questions about Jalen Hurts, those are warranted, and that's okay. Because I'm not going to let this game take away from everything else that has been done this whole year. He's been playing like this the whole year. This was the trap game. This was the game that they were supposed to lose. Everybody says you got to lose the game. You can't keep on this streak for so long. Well, this was the game. They probably should have lost this game. But they didn't. They found a way to win. They found a way to, as bad as Jalen Hurts played, he still had 2 drives to put us in the end zone that ended up winning the game. If that don't happen, we don't win. So you got to take, if you're going to give them the bad, you got to take the good too. 2 things can mutually be true. So do you have questions about him? I don't know what questions you have. He's been playing like this the whole year. Everybody wants those games where he can throw for 300 yards. And I'll say it again. Everybody wants to make Josh Allen the litmus test right now. He threw for all of them yards yesterday. He went off yesterday. And they lost. And everybody thought that the video I did about comparing him to Josh Allen was trying to say who was the better quarterback. That wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video was to say that Josh Allen is winning in the same way, the same manner that Jalen Hurts, vice versa. But the praise goes on Josh Allen, and the criticism goes on Jalen Hurts. And whether you go one way or the other, that's do what you want to do. Your opinions are yours. But people are going to bash Jalen Hurts for that game he had yesterday. I agree. He didn't play very well. But you know what? I can go back and I can look at, let's look at when Josh Allen and they won against the Dolphins. He was 13 for 19, only threw for 139 yards. That wasn't a great game. Or let's go to the Texans. When Buffalo lost to the Texans, and he was 9 for 30 for 131 yards. 56.4 QB rating. So everybody gets a turn. That don't mean that Josh Allen is a bad quarterback. All that means is he had a couple of bad games. Everybody takes their lumps, and ain't nobody exempt. Jalen Hurts, he ain't exempt either. And again, yesterday Josh Allen went for 342. He was 22 for 37. QB rating was 117.2. 3 tutties. He was lighting them up. I'm not sure how many rushing yards he had, but he basically had a good game. A great game. And they still lost. So you know what? I'll take Jalen Hurts at his low and coming through with the win. I'll take that. Because at the end of the day, that is what matters. Josh Allen been playing the same way the last 3-4 seasons. But what it comes down to is what is he going to do in the playoffs? We're getting to that point. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting to that point. So yes, Jalen Hurts has to play better. And he will. I would imagine he will. But I didn't like some of the play calling. I didn't like some of the logic that they were doing in a couple of those series. But that criticism is going to come to every team, to every coach, to every player, every week. Eagles ain't no different. Go Birds.